Today on the 45, guys, we had a crazy-ass day in both CONCACAF Champions League and the UEFA Champions League. And we had a Europa League match that snuck into our day as well. But guys, I'm in Parcero, Philly, and this here is your 45. Let's get this started. Yeah! Guys, and before we get started real quick, guys, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit that bell button for notifications, as well as share this video and this channel to help El Parcero grow. All right, let's get this started, guys. I want to start off, of course, with the UEFA Champions League, guys, and today we had two matches. We had Lyon facing off against Juve. Lyon would host that match. And then the other matchup, we had Real Madrid versus Manchester City, and Real Madrid would host that in the Santiago Bernabeu. So start off with Lyon versus Juve. Listen, before this match started, I felt as if Juve had enough to get this victory here. Cristiano Ronaldo was playing hot. It seemed like Sarri figured out a formation and a style of play that this team could play in and they could succeed in. But things turned out a little bit differently in Lyon. Lyon showed up big time in this match. They matched everything that Juve was giving them. They were not scared of this opponent whatsoever. And the thing is that with Juve, all the pressure is on them. Like Juve, they won Serie A like the last 10 seasons essentially. They have won Coppa Italia a couple times. This is the one trophy that is eluding Juventus. And for Lyon, not much pressure here. No one's expecting them to do anything. So when you have the pressure on Juve and no pressure on Lyon, Lyon is a good team and is clearly a hungry team, and they showed you that in this matchup. Lyon will go on to win this match 1-0. Lucas Toussaint will make a beautiful run down the center of the pitch, and a nice little tap would hit the top right left corner of the goal. Szczesny had no opportunity of stopping that. Now heading into Turin next month, Lyon has got the 1-0 win on aggregate. It's going to be tough getting the victory in Allianz Field in Turin, so we will see what happens. But bravo to Lyon, great victory, and we had a nice little upset in this week of Champions League. And your second matchup of the day, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. And again, before this match started, all odds were Manchester City. We all know that they're getting the 2-year ban for the next 2 seasons of Champions League. What kind of Manchester City squad would show up here in this tournament, knowing what we know going ahead with Man City? For Real Madrid, listen, they have improved. This season under Zinedine Zidane in his second reign as a Real Madrid manager. But what can we really expect from Real Madrid? Well, in this match, Real Madrid will go up ahead first. Well, in this match, the first half was pretty much dead. Nothing really was going on. Man City had a couple opportunities, but in the second half, Real Madrid's Isco would get this goal scoring started for both sides, as he got the goal in the 60th minute. And then after that, Pep Guardiola's Man City squad turned it up. In the 78th minute, Gabriel Jesus, who has seemed to be the savior for Manchester City this season, when needed a goal, Gabriel Jesus is there. He would get the goal. He would get the score knotted up for Man City, and then 5 minutes later, Man City would draw a PK, which Kevin De Bruyne would knock into the back of the net, giving Man City the 2-1 lead. And that would be the final score. Man City winning this match 2-1. They get 2 away goals, heading to the second aggregate, which they will be back home at the Etihad Stadium. And of course, it wouldn't be a big matchup for Real Madrid without Sergio Ramos getting a red card. He would get a red card in the 86th minute. And it was just a bad challenge by Sergio Ramos. I really want to know, is this the season Man City can actually get this done? This is the only trophy that is eluding this club here. We shall see. And then in Europa League, we had Braga and Rangers facing off. Now, Rangers had the 3-2 aggregate lead. And in this match, Rangers did what they had to do, getting the 1-0 victory here, moving on to the next round, beating Braga on a 4-2 total aggregate. All right, let's move on to CONCACAF Champions League, where we had 4 amazingly entertaining matches. First up, NYCFC hosting San Carlos de Costa Rica. Now, heading back to New York, or should we say New Jersey. NYCFC had the 5-3 aggregate on hand. Now, we all know that NYCFC would have to play this match away from Yankee Stadium, where they typically play their matches. And this time around, we've seen them in the past play up in Connecticut. We've seen them even play at Citi Field, where the New York Mets for Major League Baseball play. And this time around, man, they had to play in freaking new Red Bull Arena, the home of their arch rivals, New York Red Bull, which was pretty hilarious. Off the bat, guys, I will say that it did not look full at all. Honestly, guys, I'd be surprised if there was 5,000 people in that stadium today. It was pretty doggone empty there. But NYCFC, played well enough. They got just a 1-0 victory here at home. Now, NYCFC manager Ronnie Delia said there was just enough people and he heard enough noise, and hopefully, and I'm guessing that was the truth, because they got the job done and got the victory here, and NYCFC move on in their first ever CONCACAF Champions League tournament. All right, Montreal Impact versus Deportivo Saprissa. This match will be played in Montreal, and this would be a 0-0 draw. However, Montreal move on to the next round simply because of the wonderful away goal. You gotta love that away goal if it works for you. But really gotta commend Thierry Henry. His first season as Montreal Impact manager. We know the disarray that happened last year in Monaco. It ended really, really badly, and for him to come in, create some sort of a spark. This is a new look Montreal team, and listen, they're going on to the next round in CONCACAF Champions League. Say what you want. It's definitely a much needed achievement for Thierry Henry to start off his campaign, his tenure as a manager of Montreal. All right, let's move on to Tigres versus Alianza. This is the match I wanted to talk to you guys about. My God, both matches in Mexico were the more exciting matches of this week for CONCACAF Champions League. Listen, let's start off with Tigres and Alianza. It started off well for Tigres. It looked like they were rolling. They had two nice goals. Two nice goals started off in the 9th minute. The Ecuadorian Ener Valencia got the goal scoring. Started off early for Tigres, and then of course Gignac got another goal for Tigres. On both those goals, it was a really nice passing and movement from Tigres. On the third goal, which came 5 minutes later after that second goal, it was a PK by Gignac again. Tigres were up 3-0, 25 minutes into this match here. Looked like they were rolling 3-0 in the first half, or that early on. You don't hear that type of stuff. But then Alianza, they stepped it up. They were not going to be put away that easily. Juan Carlos Potrillo would get the goal scoring for Alianza. In the 33rd minute, he would get the first goal for Alianza, and then in the 44th minute, right before halftime, he would get the second goal. And we talked about the away goals. 2 goals that really put Alianza in a perfect position to move on to the next round and give you the real upset here of CONCACAF Champions League. But Tigres dug down very deep, and they were not going to be eliminated here. In the second half, Tigres would grind and would work to try to get the goal. And then in stoppage time, we're talking the 94th minute of stoppage time. This shit only happens in Mexico, I promise you guys. Tigres goalkeeper, Nahuel Guzman, came up from his goal stand, and it was a corner kick for Tigres, and he would be the extra player, and he would find a way to head the ball in for the game-winning goal for Tigres. You really don't hear much about goalies scoring goals in matches, especially important matches like this, but I've heard this countless of times happening with Mexican clubs, and it's crazy. This goalie got the goalies don't usually score goals. Their job is to stop the goal scoring. But this guy punched the ticket for Tigres to move on to the next round. What an exciting game. Tigres win 4-2. They win 5-4 on aggregate. Wow. That was an exciting ass game. Like, just the second half, seeing Tigres trying to get that next goal, and then they get it with the goalkeeper. My God. Tigres on to the next round. The last matchup of the day, we had Club America versus Comunicaciones. And this was another entertaining matchup. Comunicaciones were not going down easily. After 90 minutes, it was 1-1 between Comunicaciones and America. And remind you, this was in the Estadio Azteca, where it's Club America's home. Comunicaciones are in the Estadio Azteca and giving it to America. They did not seem shy of the opportunity. They didn't care that this was El Estadio Azteca versus Club America in Mexico, the hostile environment. Comunicaciones really wanted this as bad as a Club America. This game not only would take extra time, but it would take PKs. And in the PKs, unfortunately, that is where Comunicaciones really fell, because Club America, they know how to handle those situations, and they would win in the PKs 5-3, sending Comunicaciones home. But man, you have to commend these last two eliminated clubs that I just mentioned. Alianza and Comunicaciones really gave you entertaining matches in CONCACAF Champions League, and you gotta applaud those guys. Unfortunately, they will be eliminated, but man, they had a fantastic run in CONCACAF Champions League. All right, tomorrow, guys, we have a full slate of Europa League matches. You got 12 matches in total in Europa League. So if you got nothing to watch, man, just turn on TV, because there is plenty of Europa League action to be watched. All right, I'll go over these matchups really quick. We have, they're all second legs, of course. We have Istanbul versus Sporting Lisbon, Ghent facing off against Roma, Malmö facing off against Wolfsburg, Lask facing off against AZ Alkmaar, Porto facing off against Bayern Leverkusen, Espanyol facing off against Wolves, FC Basel facing off against APL Nicosia, Man United facing off against Club Brugge, Celtic facing off against Copenhagen, Benfica facing off against Shakhtar Donetsk, Inter Milan facing off against Ludogorets, Ajax facing off against Getafe, Sevilla facing off against CFR Cluj, Arsenal facing off against Olympiacos. I got Istanbul Sporting drawing. I got Roma beating Genk 1-0. I got Malmö Wolfsburg drawing 1-1. I got AZ Alkmaar beating Lask on away goals, but I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. I got Porto and Bayern drawing 1-1, but Bayern move on with the away goal. I got Wolves beating Espanyol 1-0. I see FC Basel and APOEL drawing 0-0. I got Man U beating Club Brugge 2-0. I see Celtic beating Copenhagen 1-0. I see Shakhtar Donetsk beating Benfica 4-3. I got Inter beating Ludogorets 3-1. I got Ajax beating Getafe 2-0, and then it will go down to penalty kicks, where I see Ajax moving on. I see Sevilla beating CFR Cluj 2-0. I got Arsenal beating Olympiacos 3-0, and those are my predictions for Europa League. We also have CONCACAF Champions League play today as well. The Seattle Sounders facing off against Olimpia. And then we also have Club León facing off against LAFC. I see the Seattle Sounders beating Olimpia 1-0. And I see LAFC winning 1-0. Seattle and Club León move on to the next round. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. In the comments below, guys, you want to talk about UEFA Champions League, let me know in the comments below, especially Lyon getting the upset against Juve, or Man City coming back to beat Real Madrid. Let me know in the comments below. You want to talk about any of the Europa League action? Again, let me know in the comments below. All my CONCACAF Champions League fans, you got that CCL fever? Well, let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on all those matchups that happened today and the matchups that are going to happen tomorrow? Guys, I'm in Parcero, Philly. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will talk to you guys very soon. Thanks again.